Republican, and joining me now is Jason Johnson, a professor of political science at Hiram College. He is a political analyst and has worked for both Republican and Democrats as a campaign manager. Good to see you, as always, Jason. Also with us is David Pakman. He hosts his own political radio and television talk show, The David Pakman Show. And David joins us now. Good to talk to you both. And Jason, let me start with you. More likely than not that the president, at least with this committee, will get the votes he's looking for.
Yeah, he's going to get the votes he's looking for, and we've already seen the changes. John McCain on day one said, I don't think this is a good idea, and he's already switched after one meeting with Obama. I think that the president pretty much knew the temperature in the Senate and the House. I think he's going to get this through.
Why do you think that is, David? Let me come to you on this one.
Well, I think ultimately this is going to come down to thinking a little bit further ahead than just right now. I mean, right now it's really unclear what will the end result be. We've got so many fractured rebel groups. Nobody could really predict in any reasonable way exactly how it'll shake out. So I think that right now people like John McCain and others who maybe have longer political futures or potential political futures are going to be thinking about, how is this going to affect me if and when I run for re-election? How is it going to affect my party? Do I want to be seen potentially as that guy that all the campaign commercials are talking about in 2, 4, or 6 years?
Do you think we will get, David, and then to you, Jason, do you think we will get a debate on the long-term strategy in Syria beyond what we're talking about today, these limited and targeted strikes?
I certainly hope so. I mean, today I'm going to be watching for how much discussion of the exit strategy will there be, and also are some of those individuals who today might call for details about the exit strategy, were they calling for one when we were debating Iraq before, or were they not as concerned then, maybe because of who was in the White House at the time?
Isn't targeted and limited its own exit strategy?
It may be, but we heard with Iraq, we're going to be in there a very short amount of time. We may be greeted as liberators, something about roses, I remember. So just because that's what's being said in the first 72 hours of discussion doesn't mean it's what it will be.
Jason, what are you looking forward to hearing today?
I'm looking forward to sort of a redux of Kosovo, because this is much more like Kosovo than it is like Iraq. If you look at what John McCain was saying about Bill Clinton in 1999, it was very similar. He was saying, I think the president needs to take full responsibility.
But no move to get Congress on board with Kosovo.
Exactly. And I think, though, but the issue is there were several different votes. And I think this may turn out to be more than one simple vote, yes or no, for Barack Obama to do what he wants to do. So that's what I'm going to be looking at today.
Do you think we will get tough questioning? David, I'll come to you on this. Do you think we will get difficult, tough questioning on who the opposition is in Syria?
We should, because that's really the risk right now. Let's assume best case scenario, this is limited and targeted and it takes a few days and Assad is out.
And Assad is out.
Potentially, just hypothetically speaking. Then who does take over? We saw this happen in Egypt, where the day-to-day 6 months after was not definitively better for everyone who was just kind of going about their day-to-day lives, and that's really what's at risk here. You don't know, depending on the outcome. Let's assume we know the outcome of these limited and targeted strikes. Then what happens, and can we say for sure that it's going to be better for the average person? I don't think right now we can say that.
How much of a call do you think there will be, Jason, for something that is beyond whatever limited and targeted is, for actual regime change, something bigger and broader?
Well, look, ever since 2011, the Obama administration has wanted some type of regime change. That's just not something that
How do you get there? Has always been the issue.
No one necessarily knows exactly how to get there, what we have to do to make that process realistic. But I also think historically, you've got members of Congress who are sitting there, and they saw what happened with David Cameron. And what's occurring to them right now is, we don't want to look weak. We may disagree with Barack Obama, but we can't hamstring our president in front of the rest of the world. And I think that's probably one of the key ideas in this upcoming vote, above and beyond what the exit strategy.
What does that mean, to look weak? The idea that you are the lone superpower in the world today, if there is a no vote, you are still the lone superpower in the world.
That's not how Republicans think in the United States of America.
What does that concept mean?
It means that they've got to have, we want to stay volatile, we want to stay virile, and the Republican Party believes that any sign that the United States can't strike like thunder at any point for any reason makes the country look weak. A lot of people don't agree with it, but that's how a lot of the base of the GOP and Republicans in the Congress and the Senate think.
Jason, do you believe that we will get a discussion on the opposition in this hearing today?
We're going to get a discussion on the opposition by those who not only disagree with any sort of intervention, but people looking at 2016. Rand Paul is going to be one of the people who talks about this. The people who have a long-term political strategy, they're going to want all these details out there so that they can be covered if something goes wrong.
Who are the key senators that you'll be looking to hear from? David, let me come to you on that. Rand Paul, obviously.
No question about Rand Paul. I'm just interested, broadly speaking, with how the Republicans are going to play this, because they need to figure out a way to, number one, be tough, and number two, they need to continue this strategy of this kind of frame that Democrats don't take action when it comes to the military. They're going to want to play that up, but not overplay their hands such that, like I mentioned earlier, they could be called for a double standard or being hypocritical based on where they were in previous debates over mobilizing the military. So that I'm interested in all the Republicans. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see dissenting Democrats or strongly critical Democrats and how they'll handle it.
And at the end of the day, you believe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you believe that this committee will ultimately vote yes, support the president, given the final language of whatever the resolution turns out to be?
Absolutely.
Wow. Why are you so confident?
It's for the same reasons that we kind of have been talking about, that they're not going to want to be seen as the ones who stopped this from going forward. Again, if it goes forward from here, it doesn't necessarily mean anything happens. It goes to a broader vote, and then let more people have their voices heard.
Jason, and that's your view as well?
Yeah, pretty much. And I also think, you know, many of the senators, again, they're thinking long term. That's their idea when they're making these debates.
Boy, I hope we get a view of the long-term strategy for Syria.
I don't think we have
a post-Assad Syria. Maybe we will. Let's hope we do. It'd be lovely to hear that. All right, gentlemen, stay close. More questions for you as the debate begins today.